You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Caitlin Clark and this non-endorsement of Kamala Harris. Now, she did like a post of Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris, but it should be noted when the media tried to ask her for her actual political affiliations / leanings, she was like, nah, we're not going down that road. People should get out and vote, and they should vote for whoever they want to after they do their research. Now, that's a pretty smart way to go, I think, right? Now, it should be noted, Caitlin Clark is a big Taylor Swift fan, and she is a massive Kansas City Chiefs fan, and we know Taylor Swift is what? Dating Travis Kelce. It didn't surprise me that she liked Taylor Swift's post. In fact, I kind of wonder if she doesn't like every single Taylor Swift post that ever comes out. But I thought it was rather interesting because these days when you have a non-endorsement, I mean, let's be honest, all right? With all the shit that she has taken from these WNBA players who, for the most part, we know, by and large, they're all supporting the radical left and Kamala Harris. Her endorsing Kamala Harris would do nothing but help her in that league when it comes to her fellow players. And she did not do that. All right? She went very Michael Jordan-like. All right? She didn't blatantly say Republicans buy sneakers too, but she did not give an endorsement of Kamala Harris, and she took a much more different route than we know most of the players in this league would take. To be honest with you, she decided to not get into politics, is what she did, basically, right? And I think that's sort of what most of us want to hear is, hey, y'all vote for who you want to. You do your research. You do you. And I'm good with that, frankly, right? I mean, in fact, when you hear a non-endorsement, kind of makes you wonder if she's voting for Trump. But, you know, I don't know that, right? So who knows, right? Just because she liked the post, she's a self-admitted Taylor fan, right? Clark's Instagram activity sparked news early Wednesday after Clark liked Taylor Swift's Instagram post endorsing Kamala Harris as president. By the way, we will look at some fan reaction to this, all right? Taylor Swift's endorsement came right after ABC's network's disappointing presidential debate, and non-Swifties were quick to point out that the lack of tact on display by Swift, who at one point seemed apolitical but is now fully supportive of Kamala Harris for president. Well, she supported Biden too. Ahead of Wednesday's matchup against the Las Vegas Aces, Clark was questioned about liking Swift's Instagram post by USA Today's Christine Brennan. Brennan's track record as a biased communist columnist consistently harping on sexism implied that the conversation would inevitably steer Clark towards advocating for Kamala. So in other words, the columnist asked a loaded question thinking that Caitlin Clark was about to slurp her some Kamala Harris, and it did not go that way. It didn't. Instead, the Indiana Fever rookie gave a balanced answer, saying she followed Swift's footsteps by using her platform to encourage fans to vote in November. Does that mean she's voting for Trump? Absolutely not. Harris seems obvious as her top pick, but at least Caitlin Clark avoided deliberately bringing her politics into the limelight, which would inevitably alienate a large chunk of her fan base. Clark had an opportunity on Wednesday to show her support for Kamala, but she didn't take it. She added that she intended to encourage her fans to go out and vote in November. Clark was asked her opinion on Swift's endorsements of Kamala. She said, quote, "I think for myself, I have an amazing platform," Clark responded. So she did not give a yeah, I think that's really awesome she did that. She didn't say that. Brennan's heart surely was broke at the sound of the uninterested Caitlin Clark. Quote, so I think the biggest thing would be is to encourage people to register to vote. I think this is the second time I could vote in an election. That's the biggest thing I can do with the platform that I have. The same thing that Taylor did. Previously, New York Liberty Senator Breonna Stewart swore to help put Harris in office rather than Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Clark added, I think, continue to educate yourself on candidates that we have, policies they're supporting, and I think that's the biggest thing you can do, and that's what I would recommend to every single person that has an opportunity in our country. Then there's cases like Angel Reese, who surprisingly avoided in answering an endorsement question related to Kamala Harris back in August. Yeah, I will say that. She actually did not endorse Kamala either, which was pretty shocking, to be honest with you. And I'm talking about Angel Reese because, well, I think her fan base would be largely Kamala supporters. And Clay Travis did say this. Caitlin Clark is asked if she will be endorsing Kamala by sports media members. She declines to answer. Encourages everyone to register to vote and do their own research. Feels a big in conjunction with Mahomes earlier, athletes not taking sides. Jordan-esque. And, of course, he brings up LeBron down here because we know how LeBron went. LeBron went full-blown left-winger. And he lost a shit ton of fans because of it. So some of the response, she's a role model. That's why we love her. Good for her. Leftist reporters trying to bully everyone for Kamala Harris. I guarantee you that reporter was like, wait a minute, you didn't just blatantly, endorse Kamala right here on this platform? I can only imagine this reporter's face when she got people ought to do their own research, make their own choices. I tell you what I like about this, all right? Because I'm going to be honest. I figured she was probably going to support Kamala, right out of college, kind of in that university mindset, young, et cetera, et cetera. But she didn't, right? Nor did she push anybody to vote for anybody. And I think that's a smart way of going about your business. Like, at least she's got a mind for business, and that's pretty good. If someone doesn't openly come out and endorse Kamala, I think it's safe to assume they're voting for Trump. That is a thought, too, all right? And I've seen a lot of people say that. Seriously, the way it should be, why disenfranchise a large base of your fans? By the way, Usher said the same thing on The View. And they were not happy about it at all. Seriously, yes, she liked that post. Everybody knows it. I get that. CeCe's being a big Chiefs fan. Pure class here. I think that's got a lot to do with it. I mean, she's a self-proclaimed Swiftie. David Portnoy is too. Of course, the owner of Barstool, and this is what he said. I'm voting the other way, but to each its own. I get that. Okay. She's a class act, impressive young lady. I like her. Seriously. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't lose my mind over this at all. I don't see it as an endorsement of Kamala. I don't see it as an endorsement of Trump. If you don't want to blatantly come out and say, hey, I'm endorsing this candidate, blah, 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 that's pretty good business, frankly. Staying neutral in all of it. I get that. I mean, you guys know where I'm voting. Obviously, right? I mean, but I talk politics for a living, too. It is what it is. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Who's she voting for? I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest. She decided to not get political. LeBron could have learned something from that, frankly. Some of her fellow WNBA players could learn something from that, frankly. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.